Today, we're going to dig into a really powerful ancient story to ask a very, very modern question. Why do we even learn? I mean, is all the knowledge we're building up just a big monument to ourselves, or is it supposed to be something more?
You know, it seems to be just part of our DNA. We've always looked up, literally, at these gigantic structures and just felt this sense of awe at what people can accomplish when we work together. They really represent the peak of what we can do.
Just think about it for a second. The absolutely mind-boggling height of the Burj Khalifa, the ancient mystery of the pyramids, the incredible scale of the Great Wall of China. These aren't just buildings, right? They're powerful symbols of human success, of our wisdom, and of some pretty amazing technology.
But what if I told you about a project that was every bit as ambitious, just as grand, but it ended up as one of the biggest, most miserable failures in all of history? Well, that's exactly where our story begins today.
Yep, this story of a grand failure comes to us from the book of Genesis. It's the story of the Tower of Babel, and it's a really powerful cautionary tale about ambition and, the real purpose behind all our hard work.
So the people building this tower, they had everything, and I mean everything going for them. Just imagine a world with zero language barriers, perfect communication. They also had what was basically cutting-edge tech for their time, like knowing how to bake super strong bricks and using tar for mortar. They were unified, they were skilled, they were all set to build something truly epic.
Okay, so if they had all the right tools and they had the perfect team, where did it all go so wrong? Well, the problem wasn't in their hands and it wasn't in their minds. The problem was in the direction of their hearts.
Their motivation? It's laid bare in their own words. Their goal wasn't just to build something amazing. It was to make a name for ourselves. See, this whole project was about their own glory, their own fame, their own security, and there was no thought for any kind of higher purpose.
So ultimately, this massive project was born from pure arrogance. It was basically a giant monument to human pride, designed from the ground up to celebrate themselves and absolutely nothing else.
And what was the result? Well, God saw their pride, and He stepped in. He confused their language, the very thing that made their unity possible in the first place. Suddenly, communication completely broke down, chaos took over, and the whole project just ground to a halt. And that spot was named Babel, which literally means confusion, a permanent reminder of their failed ambition.
So how in the world does this ancient story connect with us today? Well, think about it. Every skill we learn, every single fact we memorize, it's like we're laying another brick in a tower of our very own. And this brings us to the most vital question we really need to ask ourselves. Why am I learning this? What's the ultimate purpose of this tower of knowledge I'm building in my own life?
This really leaves us with two fundamentally different blueprints for our learning. So the question is, are we building a Tower of Babel, or are we building God's house?
Let's break this down. The Babel approach to learning, well, it's all driven by competition. It's about I need to be higher than others. That path just leads to jealousy, to conflict, and in the end, to loneliness. But then you have the God's house approach. This is driven by gratitude and service. The motivation here totally changes. It becomes, I want to thank God for this knowledge, and how can I use my abilities to help others? A scientist uses their learning not just for fame, but to cure a disease. An entrepreneur builds a business not just for wealth, but to create ethical products and good jobs. An artist learns their craft not just for praise, but to create work that inspires hope. See, this path is what builds community and actually helps make the world a more beautiful place. So it all comes down to this, setting the right purpose from the very beginning. It's about making a conscious decision about who or what our learning is ultimately for. Here's the central takeaway, the main point of all this. The real purpose of our learning isn't to make a name for ourselves. It's not to build a monument to our own greatness. It's to exalt God and to serve the world that He created.
And this leads to a really powerful motto, a guiding principle for our learning. I do not learn to boast of myself or to become higher than others. Wow. Just adopting that mindset can fundamentally change everything about why we learn.
And that leaves us with one final, crucial question to think about. I want you to take a look at the tower of knowledge you are building brick by brick every single day. Is it a Tower of Babel, reaching for your own glory, or is it God's house, built with gratitude and for the good of others? The choice of the blueprint, that's yours.